Hey guys, welcome to episode 17 of Takes from Obvious Bozos. I'm Drew. Joining me as always is the creative mastermind of everything behind the Strickland, everything behind SNY. That's it. That's all I'm going to remember because I don't actually remember right now.
That is
Zach's
it.
here with
So
me. What do you mean that isn't? There's more? Is there
no,
more?
no, that's it. That's it. Sometimes more appears, but that's it.
Yeah, no, I'm only going with the actual. Listen, this is a serious podcast.
Yeah.
We're serious journalists about this, and we need to make sure that we get everything factually correct on this. So Zach, doing everything right. How are you today?
I'm finishing up my morning phase of this Knicks team, and I'm ready to dive deep into the offseason, to dive deep into the NBA draft, to pretend that I know everything about like these second round picks, and
I can't wait.
pretend that I have concrete opinions about like Bobby Clintman, who is a second round pick. But I'm looking forward to it.
That's my top pick for the Knicks, who I want to get. Now, if anyone ever presses me, like if it's similarly to like if anyone presses me on like my Yankee fandom now, it doesn't, right? It doesn't exist. I couldn't tell you. I could barely name 5 players on the team. But when I say like my draft pick, that don't ask me any more than the name. I don't know anything where this guy is from. Oh, isn't he like Swedish? Isn't that it?
Yeah, he's Swedish. He played in college basketball in America for one season, and then he went to the NBL in Australia, and now he's coming back to America.
Oh, he's in the Australian. Okay, never mind. It's probably a bad idea.
He's not Australian. He just played in that league for 1 year. Like he just went over there to play.
Who's good that's come out of that league?
LaMelo Ball. That's it. Dyson Daniels.
All right, fine. There's a couple people, but
yeah.
Before we get into the show, we're already sidetracked. We need to make sure that our sponsors are known to the public, and our main one, of course, is Bet Online. Bet Online is your number one source for all your summer sports this season, from Major League Baseball, golf, NBA basketball, which is off season. So unless they're doing bets on the off season, same. Oh wait, no, the playoffs are still going on. I'm sorry. I'm still like you, Zach. I'm mourning the Knicks. And I'm forgetting the fact that there's still basketball going on, but the NBA and NHL playoff stats, all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today, or use your mobile device to get on the action. Bet Online, where the game starts. And guys, don't forget about us, of course, the Strickland. We are on Instagram at the Strickland. We are on TikTok until the United States bans it at the Strickland. We are now also going to be collabing with, if you're really an internet person and really an internet dork, we are collaborating with the New York Knicks subreddit for all of our draft content. That's right. So if you're not following us on the on the Strickland, going to the strict.land or anything like that, go to New York Knicks Reddit, which would be reddit.com/r/NY Knicks. So definitely go there. So you're going to see all our draft stuff from Prez at all. I'm sorry for not knowing everyone. Prez is my main guy. That's what I'm going to. But definitely check us out there. Check us out on, like I said, Instagram, TikTok, which is at the Strickland. Don't forget to go to strict.land. Visit our Patreon page as well, patreon.com/the Strickland. You'll get to hear the full episode of this for our $6 tier. Same as in that $6 tier, you also get Fridays, Pod Strickland with Schwinn, and Prez. Yeah, Stacy's free. Prez is premium content. You guys got to pay for Prez. So that's what you get for that. There's a $9 tier. You'll get our Strictly NFL show. They just wrapped up all their NFL drafts up, so they're fresh in the off season. If you're ready for off season, isn't football training camp coming up soon or something like that?
OTAs are right now. I have no idea what that stands for, but there are guys like in the facilities doing
OTAs, off season training,
something like that.
Off season training
activity.
There we go. That's what we're going to call it.
Yeah, maybe
we're going to get our fact checkers on it. Don't worry, guys. We have a huge group of them to make sure that we get everything factually correct on this show. They'll figure it out. But no, we have all our stuff. Definitely check everything out on the Strickland. You'll get to hear the full episode of this. We're one of the tiers. Don't forget that as well. You get exclusive articles from Matthew Miranda with our tiers. So go there, patreon.com/Strickland. All right, we got it. We have takes, and since with the season, obviously this Knicks season done, playoffs wrapping around, our takes are dwindling in numbers. So
I will say there were plenty of takes that I omitted because they were submitted while the Knicks still had playoff hopes, and they were submitted during the series, and I thought it was best to move on, rather than dwell on the past.
Yeah, that's fine. We don't need to. Honestly, we don't need to dwell on it. And then if you're watching like the Celtics Indiana series, it's basically pretty much everything we've been saying, right? It's kind of like, oh yeah, the Indiana Pacers, like no one cares. The Pacers aren't that good. Yeah, we've been saying that, and now it's kind of coming to fruition. The only good series apparently is the Western Conference Finals.
I mean, how good is it now? They're up 2-0 on the road, and it's going back to Dallas.
Yeah, but the games have been a little more like
the games
compelling.
Have been good.
Because like that game too in Boston, I was like, what is this? Like the Pacers do not belong on the same court as even the non-serious Celtics, right? Like it's so ridiculous. But anyway, we're gonna get to some takes right now. Zach, are you ready for them?
Very, very much ready.
All right, we are starting off hot with young Pavardi, purely as an off-ball complementary piece next to Brunson, and given his chops as a point of attack defender, Deuce fits more seamlessly next to Brunson than Quickly did. This is a hot take.
It's hot. It's hot, but it's not the hottest ever. I actually like he worded this in a safe manner. He didn't say that he didn't say like Deuce is better than Quickly. He didn't say that he's a better player. The seamless fit argument, you could convince me. Like I get it. I definitely think like the fit between Quickly and Brunson was awesome, and like it wasn't like a bad fit by any means. Like all the numbers were really, really great. Like that 2-man combo was always one of our best. And but yeah, you're gonna look long term. I get like Deuce just doesn't need the ball as much as Quickly does, and we have other guys on this team who need the ball. And if Deuce just wants to stand around and just defend his ass off on the point of attack, I didn't think his defense was not as amazing as it could have been in the playoffs. But hey, like I'm not going to hold him for that. Like he was
it wasn't as good. He definitely. Well, I mean, the Knicks needed him to definitely like everyone needed to score more, right?
And he was just doing so much, playing so many minutes, like having to guard some elite players. And I'll give him a pass for not being the best defender ever in the playoffs. And we know what he is in the regular season. We have so much sample of him being elite. So yeah, the fit is seamless. Is it better than Quickly? Probably by like a marginal difference. I don't know if it's like some home run better fit. But considering the price we're getting Deuce for and the role he's willing to play, it's great to have him around. Yeah, it's a pretty great fit.
I'm gonna look up. I'm actually just curious now on what the on-off stats are for something like these two specific lineups. So while I'm pulling that up, I still think this is hot because the defense is better in terms of like Deuce is just a better point of attack defensive player. He just guards the ball coming at he could pick up guys full court. Not the same, like Quickly still a good defender, just not the same type of defensive player. I just think the offense though, like the defense is upgraded, but I still think the offense is not as strong, and I think I would probably prefer that offensive combination than anything else between Brunson and Quickly, because I would prefer that, and so that's where I would be with it. But like I still think it's a hot take, right?
My prediction hot. Before you have the numbers up, my prediction is that the Deuce numbers will be better than the Quickly numbers next to him, and it's probably because he played a lot of minutes with OG.
I'm probably with you there. I'm like completely blanking.
So I don't know if like it's some end all be all stats answer here, because Deuce has kind of been treated kinder with his lineups.
I will say that, right? Because I do think at the point, like once OG came about, right? Like because his fit with this team was so much better than the fit with RJ Barrett, like everyone kind of got like properly placed in their roles. So like it's kind of hard to do. So I'm taking like the past 2 years. I'm doing 2020, basically 2022 to 2024. So then we're gonna have Brunson, Quickly, Miles. I love that. Like I don't know if you do this or anyone else does this as well, but I always search Deuce McBride on like the stats.
In my head, he's Miles. He's always been Miles in my head, and I always go Miles when I have to tweet about him. But or when I tweet about him formally, like on the Strickland account or any of my other employers. But I'll go Deuce for the personal account.
So I just did basically like the different 3-man combinations on PvP stats. So like Brunson and Quickly without McBride in the lineup was a plus 9.49 net rating, and then Brunson with McBride without Quickly is a plus 10.9. So
marginal difference. That's kind of exactly what I thought it would be. But hey, they're both great, and one is slightly greater than the other. But
that's really
because of OG. So
I think that. So like the defensive rating was better for Brunson Quickly than Brunson McBride. But yeah, as you saw, right, it's basically like two very good combinations. And I think if anything, it does prove if the Knicks decide to go the Donovan Mitchell route, like as rumored, I think it's now the proof of concept where it's like, oh, we didn't explore the Brunson Quickly lineup enough. Now that we kind of explored due to injuries, the Deuce.
Well, Brunson Deuce. I mean, we'll call it the Bruce backcourt.
The Bruce backcourt. We're like, oh, this does make sense, right? You just like the two small guard lineup works because like if you just have a guy who's playing defense and get deflections, you're totally fine because Brunson's better off ball reading, getting into those lanes where he gets the charges, and Mitchell has picked up his at least this past season picked up his deflection stats. So like it would work. So like I think we've seen proof of concept that like Brunson with another guard works. So, but yeah, it's still a hot take, but I appreciate and also don't appreciate how carefully worded Schwinn did this. It's like one of those, it's like, it's a good take, but also like you just say it. Just say Deuce is better than Quickly. Spare One has breaking up the Nova guys in the offseason would be a mistake. I would trade Julius for a star before Dante.
This is too open-ended for me to like give you a concrete answer on. Like just breaking up the Nova guys is such a wide umbrella of possibilities here. Like I don't know, breaking them up for the sake of breaking them up, obviously would probably be a mistake.
Right.
But if Cleveland calls you and they're like, hey, Dante and Mitch or Dante and Bojan plus some picks for Donovan, like I'm doing that any day of the week. I don't care. Like I love Dante, bro. I love having him around. But like I'm doing that deal 11 times out of 10. And I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't make this a Cavs episode, but I think the Cavs are gonna keep Donovan Mitchell. I don't know why we're even like doing this. I think they've finally seen it. They finally learned that like Mobley and Mitchell are the pieces you want to keep around, and Allen and Garland are not. And I think all the reporting has kind of confirmed that. And I think they're going to move Garland. I think they're going to move Allen. And I think, bro, they might even hire Johnny Bryant for all I fucking know. Like, I don't know if you saw the report yesterday, but
I did see that. Which
hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Or let him get his check, right? Like,
let him get his check. Yeah, I feel like fans, including myself, are so loyal to Johnny Bryant, and like we pretend that we know what he does. Like we pretend that we know his impacts. Like I don't fucking know what Johnny Bryant is doing behind the scene. Like I don't know how integral he is to like what's going on. He could be really integral. Like I don't know. But
also I think we don't know as much as the specifics of like the day-to-day difference between what a head coach and an assistant coach is. Like
actually kind of like associate head coach.
Right. So okay, fair enough. So careful. Like if we like a lot of us have played sports, so we have an idea of at different levels what like the head and then divisions of coaches do. But like I have no idea if it's going to be a good thing. I actually think this Spare One's a very hot take, but it's actually one I very much agree with. If that like I actually like if you were like Dante and Bojan, right? If you're just like concocting that like Bojan Dante picks for Donovan Mitchell, I think any reasonable person would say yes, obviously do that trade. I wouldn't, right? Like I just fundamentally would not do that trade because I think there's something larger. Like the Villanova guys as a collective, I think have a very specific vibe where the sum is greater than the parts. And as great individually as some of them are, and even if like Donovan Mitchell really is the fully realized version of Dante DiVincenzo.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you think about it, like it's like
he's like the Charizard version of him.
Right. Exactly. If Dante is Charmeleon or Charmeleon, Charmeleon.
Well,
And
who's
I haven't.
Charmander? Who's Charmander? He's the lowest version of it. That would be like
Who's the low Deuce?
Grimes. Grimes.
You know what's really, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I've ever said, because I've always done Charmander, and I never cared about Charmeleon enough to ever
Yeah,
remember.
everybody's
Am
kind
I
of
act-
just yeah.
Because I'm just like, let me just get the Charizard. Like, let me just get Charmander up to level 36 as fast as possible, because I don't give a shit about anything that Charmeleon does. But yeah, no, like that's what it is. And I get it. I just wouldn't do it. Even though I do think there's been, at least specifically in our Discord, the idea of kind of like replacing Dante. And I don't like that because the volume and accuracy of the 3-point shooting for Dante is real. It is very real, and it's very needed for how this team specifically plays. So obviously, if you're like, well, we're going to replace him with Donovan Mitchell, who is an equally high volume, accurate 3-point shooter, yes, of course, do it. But
it's so vague when it's like trade him for a star. Like it's so case dependent with
right,
like who the star is. Like I hate
right,
opening up to just like a star.
right.
Like I don't know what I can't give you an answer there.
Right. So that's the other part of this too, right? I don't think you can just add any player to this team. I really don't. I don't think you could just add any just star player and be like, oh, he's a fit. Like Donovan Mitchell probably would be a fit.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if Devin Booker would be a fit. I really don't.
I actually think he's one of the people
he actually may, but like I think that's more up in the air than people would realize. I don't think it's as much of a guarantee. Like I don't think Mikal Bridges is a star.
No, that's the one that I think is a total wild card. Like I'm not sure.
You think that's a wild card? I think that would be a 100% lock because I
really?
just think
just because like the Nova vibes and like it just works.
I just think when you're with a collection of guys or friends or whatever it is, I think they're so close knit that when you have such a close knit group of people that are have like an equally shared value system, everyone will will fall into line. Or it's like, no, Mikal, you're going to play defense and you're going to shoot threes. You are not doing anything else. This is how we're going to win the game. And I think there's buy-in to that. And I think there's a level of like, do whatever for the team. So I think that would work. But like, you can't just be like, let's just trade like Randall for Towns. Right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know if that would actually work, even though we know now that Towns is clearly Robin or in this scenario, which is the better role for him. But like still, like you can't just add anyone into this team and just be like, all the vibes are going to remain the same. I don't think you should be messing with them just yet, especially when we didn't see Randall in the playoffs this year. Like we have to
so annoying.
Like we have to explore that January lineup more, right? Like we have to, and I just think in good faith and just kind of like the right way to do things to make sure that you don't mess with the karma or the vibes or anything. Explore the lineup. If it doesn't work again, then obviously you need to make changes, right? But like that team was too good to just throw everything away, just to be like, oh, where do we find upgrades? Where do we do this? The team was too good. And then we also saw when Mitch coming back, he's also still very effective off the bench, right? And then we also saw that you probably need Hartenstein's minutes cut a little bit as well to keep him as effective as possible. So like, I don't want to mess with the vibes of the team. I really don't. But so yeah, so like I kind of agree with that. But also the star is nebulous. I'm not trading Julius Randle. It's not happening. I'm not doing it. I guess it would only be, again, like I guess a Donovan Mitchell would be the replacement that would make sense.
Like it has to be like some bona fide top 10 guy, or I don't know, Donovan's probably like top 12, but it has to be like one of those dudes to
like done. I can't, like I'm not just, and also like just not any, like Anthony Davis would theoretically be great, but he's always injured, right?
Like he's not going to be available. I wish Anthony Davis was available, but
like I don't know who or what this nebulous star is. Just keep this team as is.
This is becoming a whole tangent now, but like that whole sentiment where like I don't know who the perfect star is, and I especially don't know if they'll be available this summer. It just makes me think like, I know you see a lot of reporting about how the Knicks, they want to make this star trade now, they want to do it as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. I remember like when we made the OG deal, Woj was reporting like, this advances their timeline, they want to make the star trade this summer. Like the reason they didn't give up any picks is because they want to do this like as soon as possible. But I just don't know if that opportunity is going to be there for us this summer. And I don't think they want to force it and just like settle for the best available, whoever that is. And my like school of thought now is just run it back with this group. Like maybe you go get another bench piece. Maybe you replace Bojan with somebody who can kind of help out a little bit more defensively around the point of attack, and that's kind of it. Like or draft a couple kids, one bench player, and just run it back. Like that's kind of what I want to do.
Yeah, they have to draft someone.
Oh yeah,
they need that first
replenish
right.
the pipeline. Yeah.
Right. They need at least one person on, I would say, a first round rookie contract. I think that is like they need that desperately. And then after that, just kind of go from there. Right. Just kind of go from there and see if you can upgrade the like bench point guard position. Right. So like when Brunson's out and to kind of help the bench unit with Randall, go for that. Obviously, that sounds like that would be great. Maybe like again, maybe Deuce improves. I don't know. Maybe Rokas comes over and he's actually good. I don't know. Maybe someone does become available. Like I know we joke around like we're not big on like the Pacers, but like if TJ McConnell became available, perfect, right?
Yeah,
like that's.
I don't think he will be, but yeah.
No, he wouldn't. But like I'm fine if you're looking for that type of guard coming off the bench. But like I don't know. Just I wouldn't rock the boat too much. Just
I know
I wouldn't.
Schwinn has done like 2 pods about this week, but like Caruso has become his like crown jewel for the summer. But I don't know if the Bulls will make him available. So
neither do I. But like Caruso makes tons of sense, right?
Makes
like
so
that's someone sense. Makes tons of just have him play off the bench. He does know how to run an offense. He can't. He's not really a shooter, but like whatever. Like
even Bruce Brown, who's also like from that tree of combo guards who rebound and defend their ass off and can make some shots. Yeah, like I would be in for that.
Yeah, that works off the bench. Like those are the type of guys you can add, but like don't overdo. I really don't overdo it, and like don't overpay, don't overdo it. And if you can't get them, I just said like just be like, see if Rokas is anything. Like I have no clue. None of us have any idea if he's actually good.
Prez does. Keep an eye out for the Prez Rokas check-in. It's coming. It's coming soon.
It is coming, and you'll find that on New York Knicks Reddit and the Strickland.
Yep.
So. And all right, we're going to do one more take before we cut over to the Patreon side of things. This was a comment submitted by Warm Perm.
This was a comment on like some random fan site. Like he didn't even give me context. It was like a screenshot of some comment section on a site. So that's the
boy. That's boy. It. So all right. So this is an unsourced comment I'm about to read. I see everyone in the comments celebrating the Knicks playoff collapse for this season. But I just remind everyone that this team has no future either. They have zero interesting young players. I'm assuming none of their future picks are valuable. And they're about to max OG who plays half a season. The roster is no better than perennial playing teams like the Hawks and Bulls. The Knicks just have the only coach in the league willing to play his starters 48 minutes a night, 82 games a year to win meaningless regular season games.
This is just like
it's not even a hot take.
This is like every casual Knicks take combined into one comment. This is like every person who like follows Bleacher Report and House of Highlights and doesn't actively watch the NBA. Like this is all of it combined into one comment.
Yeah, it's not even hot. This is just dumb.
It's just like brain rot. Knicks hate.
I don't understand how any team, almost from like any fan, them. You watch this Knicks team play and they're just like, oh, they're just playing good. Like they just play good, hard basketball. They play to win. They play as a team. They're very good. I really don't think. You know what part of this also could be, and it's something that kind of bothered me watching the playoffs, especially the second round. Both TNT and ESPN really just made it seem like as if this was the Knicks' full, like honest team.
Yeah.
Versus this was the Pacers' honest team. And the Pacers had one key injury for one of their key bench players in Benedict Mathurin. And the Knicks, by game 7, basically had, 3 healthy guys?
Half of the rotation was hurt.
Well, no, but also like Josh Hart played injured.
Oh, yeah. So more than half of the rotation was hurt.
Right. And then Brunson fractured his hand during the game. Right. So like there was this notion that like, oh, this is the Knicks, and it's like that's not the Knicks. That wasn't the team it was the team in terms of mentality throughout the season, but that wasn't the team. Like I don't understand how anyone, and I don't think ESPN and TNT kind of really hammered that point home. It's only like after the fact we listened. Oddly enough, ex-Celtics guys who were coached by Tibbs were the only ones who are like, no, this team is not healthy. This team plays well. This is not who they are. And like Perkins and Kevin Garnett, it was just so bizarre.
It was like just those guys. That was it. It's so funny.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very weird and lazy, and yeah, there's almost like an unawareness almost. I don't know. I don't like it. This is just can't believe Warm Perm submitted this and we had to read this, or I had to read this. Like, this is just terrible. So unfortunately for the freebies, that's how you're ending this this episode. Again, if you want to hear the whole thing, go to patreon.com/Strickland. Do not forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Strickland. Even you can follow us on Reddit now. I don't know if it's at the Strickland or
no, it's you/the Strickland.
That's what I mean. Like, it's not at the Strickland, but like, do that. Go to NY Knicks, the subreddit. You're going to see all of our draft stuff. That's probably one of the best places you'll get to see Prez's eventual thing on Rokas.
Yep, cool. We'll keep it on the low, but Prez, we haven't announced this yet. So if you're listening, Prez is doing an AMA, a draft AMA on Reddit next week. So
perfect. So
after that,
check that out. See you on the other side.